Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, we're here trying to support people who are either thinking of, in the process of, or have left your religion. We do put kind of an emphasis on the LDS church because I was a member of that church for 55 years. So I kind of know how they get into your brain and how they stay in your brain. So today we're going to talk to those people in particular. So if you are thinking your religion might not be where it's at, if you're in the process of leaving your religion, or you've already left your religion, I think this will be a good video for you. My husband was told that at least 30% of the people in the churches today don't believe what they're being taught. I think that's across the board. I don't think he was being told that just for the LDS religion, but I think that's across the board, watching how people are leaving the religions. The sad part about this is that they're not just leaving the religion, they're leaving God. And I'll probably tell you over and over and over and over, the Mormon God does not exist. The Catholic God does not exist. The Baptist God does not exist. We can just go right down the line. God is not what those churches are portraying him to be. They've all got their own little twist on it, and that's why they became a church, is because they came up with this whole idea and people began to follow them. So, digging down to the nitty-gritty, what do you feel you have lost by leaving your church? Or what are you afraid that you're going to lose if you leave your church? Those are very big questions. Just a small thing, a list. Let's go with friends. Let's go with jobs. Let's go with respect. Especially in the Mormon church, you get to get titles. So you're going to leave those titles behind. Spouses, sometimes your spouses are going to leave you. Your family is going to disown you. And I can give you some examples of these in just a minute. Your sense of community. Everybody always says, oh, I go for social, or I need a sense of community. We need to address that as well. So, friends, when we left the LDS church, we were basically abandoned. We don't have any of them talk to us anymore. And we were part of that neighborhood for 14 years. And the way I look at it is they must have never been friends. And seeing the way they are to each other, I'm okay with that. Jobs. I have heard of people, not us, but I have heard of people saying that they missed out on opportunities with jobs. That's a true statement. I did hear one couple that told us that when they left, this was years ago, but when they left, their bishop actually told the members of that ward not to frequent their shop anymore because they had left the church. I believe them because there's no reason for them to have to lie. But spouses, there's many people. When we left, there was actually one man in our ward that had the guts to actually come up and ask us why we left. And he told us he 100% believed us, but that his wife was a member and was never going to leave the church. So he had to go to church because otherwise it would ruin his marriage. And his marriage meant that. And you can look at it two ways. You could say God says to leave everything for him. And you can look at it as, I'm not going to let that church take my marriage away from me. I don't think there's a wrong way to look at it. Whatever works for you. I'm just saying that there are people that are afraid to live their truth because of their spouse and what they think they might do. Family, I have heard of people being disowned. I have heard of people being taken out of wills for leaving the church. A sense of community. I don't know how they say it's a sense of community, because we have gone to several churches. Because when we left the LDS church, I was under the impression that, well, if that wasn't the true church, then there must be another true church out there. So I was going to go find it. And we went to so many churches, you have no idea. And let me tell you, it doesn't matter what church it is, LDS, Catholic, Baptist, Lutheran, non-denominational, everything they want to throw out there. About the time you don't conform to what they believe, what they want you to do, they don't want you around. So do you have a sense of community? Because you're not able to just be your true self and have your own beliefs and still be part of that community. So are you really part of a community? Because my idea of being part of a community is, oh, you think that? Oh yeah, I don't think that. But hey, you want to go shopping? Yeah, that's sense of community. You don't have a sense of community. You have a sense of, all believe in the same thing. And so you're all going to stand strong and believe in that same thing, even if it is a lie. So the fact that you're afraid of voicing your own beliefs for fear of losing things tells you that there's some kind of a cult thing going on. And I mean that with Christianity too, because like I said, if you don't believe the way they believe, if you don't do what they do, if you don't agree with what their pastor says, they don't want any part of you. So if it's a Christian church and they're doing that, it's a cult. So God is not really concerned with all that. He's not. I'm going to tell you a little story time here. Back in September of 2017, I was kind of depressed, and I told my husband I wanted a blessing. And we were part of the LDS church, and so I asked him for a blessing. And I'm going to do another video on blessings, maybe next, I don't know. And so he says, okay, let me go take a shower. Went and took a shower, and I was just laying on the bed, and pop, I'm out of my body. And I am standing in space, like literally standing in space. The stars around me. It is solid where I'm standing, and I'm looking at the earth. And with, you know how people have NDEs, they're like, oh, I was floating, I didn't know where I was. And yeah, I knew exactly where I was. And I turned to whoever was with me that I did not see, but knew that somebody was with me. And I assumed it was Jesus Christ. And I turned to him and I'm saying, do not send me back. No, 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 no. I was like a 2-year-old being dragged to bed. I was like, don't send me back. Please, 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 please don't send me back. I don't want to go back. And I screamed out, they hate me. And that was it. I said it, felt better. And he proceeds to go through the list of things I might be leaving behind, including all of my children, my husband. And I'm just like, no, they'll be fine. And he went one by one. No, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Yeah, they'll be fine. They don't need me. No, just don't send me back. And he was actually hugging me. I was facing him, but I only came up to about here on him. He was quite a bit taller than me. And he leaned me back just enough that I looked off to my left. And I saw what I now know was my granddaughter and my grandson. At the time, I thought they might be mine. He didn't tell me who they were. He just said, if you don't go back, you won't be able to be a mother to them. And my personality is the type that I don't leave things undone. And I just flipped around and started walking back. And now these are the two things that I brought back with me. Now, if I was up there longer and he took it away from me, I don't know. But there was a swirling swirl that was swirling counterclockwise. And that was my way back here. And I knew it. And it wasn't huge, just enough to step into. And that's what I stepped into, and boom, I was back. Like when they say a blink of an eye, it was a blink of an eye. The other thing I brought back with me is that he wasn't concerned about people hating me. And I came back without even thinking twice because I wasn't finished with what I needed to do. And not once did I think, oh, if I screw up, I'm not going to make it back here to you. Never, didn't even cross my mind. So I really believe that the religions have that part wrong because I wasn't even concerned. And I was back in my body and my husband was in the bathroom washing his hands, coming on out to give me a blessing. So I no longer cared about what was going on in this world. I no longer cared what people were thinking, how they were acting. I just wanted to get done what I was supposed to be getting done. And so that was really interesting to me. But lo and behold, 6 weeks later, my daughter announced that she was pregnant. Had a little girl. A couple of years later, had a little boy. And I've been babysitting them. I'm almost done with them because they are now heading off to school. And so I won't be watching them as much. But that was so amazing to me that he wasn't really caring if people hated me. He didn't say, oh, no, they don't hate you. Oh, it's fine. Oh, they just don't understand, you know. He didn't even address it. That's pretty rude. So let me tell you, when you leave your religions, I don't care what religion. I know there are some religions that shun better than others. Mormons are up there at the top. But instead of looking at it as being alone and nobody likes you and you have no friends, look at it as being a time that you can be one-on-one with Christ and cultivate that personal relationship with him. Because in this grand scheme of things, your personal relationship with Christ is the only thing that is going to matter. The only thing that's going to get you through. I promise you that. It's a personal relationship with Christ. 100%. If you're feeling alone, make it all about him. Make everything about him. Pray to him all day long because you know what? He may be your only friend you have right now. He's not worried about you making friends with the world, but he is worried about your personal relationship with him. And it's really, really hard. We've been out of the church for 7 years now, I think. And there's been times that it's like, oh, we need to find a social group. We need to find community. And you can find community. You can find it here, but you can't be yourself and find community. You have to believe like they believe. You have to act like they act. And you have to, whatever, the pastor knows everything. The bishop knows everything. The prophet knows everything. You have to buy into that to be part of their community. It's just the way it is. So if you're looking for Christ to do all that for you, you're not going to fit into that community for long. And another thing to remember, that if he's all you've got it all. You've got it all. And I don't know when, but I know that there's going to be a time when there's going to be like-minded people come into our path. And it will all have been worth it. It will all have been worth it. So if you're feeling alone and wondering if you made the right decision, If you're afraid that you're going to lose everything, if you make the right decision to just follow Christ, just know that he sees you. He sees you. Everything works together for good for those who believe and trust in him. And I don't know why it has to be that way. This is my thought, is that you have to get rid of this world and everything the world tells you is important and tells you this is what you need. I've heard, and I'm sorry if I keep referencing the LDS church, but that's what I was part of. And I heard them say, well, there's nothing better out there. And I want to scream at the top of my lungs, you're right. There are no religions out there that bring you closer to Christ. You have to get out of that religious mind frame, that religious cult. And you need to go find Jesus Christ and be one-on-one with him. And if it takes 5 years or 7 years of feeling like you're alone to have that relationship with him, that is what is better than what you have. So just remember when you're in the deepest moments and thinking, I need to go back to these religions because I don't have any friends. Make Jesus your friend. And I know that sounds really tongue-in-cheek, but make Jesus your friend, because he's actually the only friend you actually have. So stand strong. It's rough. It's rough out there when you're standing alone and you don't have the false religion standing behind you. But it is worth it. It is worth it because Jesus is the way, the only way. He is the truth, the only truth. And he is the life. He will be your entire life if you just trust in him. He has plans for you. You have to trust in him. So until next time, just know he sees you.